Coast to Coast Pick 5. $1 minimum. Player-friendly 15% takeout. Coast to Coast Pick 5.
Time to talk about another Coast to Coast Pick 5. The folks over at First Racing have put together this great Pick 5 for us every Saturday and every Sunday. It's a 15% low takeout wager with a $1 base minimum. And over at DRF, we're offering free pass performances for the sequence every Saturday and every Sunday. It has been some close calls for us over the last few weeks with these. I think last week, back-to-back days, we were alive for some big ones. Now we're getting the momentum. We're seeing the ball well, but we're just missing. We're going to connect on one of them this weekend. Let's dive into the March 23rd Pick 5 on Saturday. Remember, 5 races between Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita. Let's take a look at how we start over at Santa Anita. It's going to be in race number 3. And it's going to be a 6-furlong turf race at Santa Anita. I'm thinking about going too deep in this one. The horses that are on my radar, the number 5, What a Dude, who is a real wild card in here. This is a horse who has not raced since April of 2023, but the blinkers come off for this first time gelding. He has some turf form. Overall, it's really good. Its verse is better, but it was going longer. So some question marks there. The 6, I'm a Lucky Man, looks like the horse to catch and beat in here. He should be forwardly placed throughout, but I like that he can sit off a little bit if he needs to. I'm going to use the 5 and the 6, try to get out of that first leg of the Pick 5 sequence. That's the 3rd at Santa Anita. Then we move on over to Gulfstream Park. Race number 9 is the second leg of the Pick 5 sequence. I thought this one was a little bit challenging. It's a 7.5 furlong turf event. The 5 Pocky is an obvious player in here. She can be close up throughout. She can maybe just sit off Demogorgon. The 4 Johanny, no knocks on the turf form there. Overall, really good. The 1 Grace Darling was floated a little bit wide going into the turn last time out. I think she'll get a different type of trip in here, saving all the ground. And then you have the 6 Apropos, who's sort of an interesting wild card, second time on the grass. I think this one will outrun her odds. She's a fun long shot to include at a fair price. That's the 9th at Gulfstream Park, leg 2 of the Pick 5 sequence. We move to Santa Anita, race number 5. This is the 3rd leg of that Pick 5, and we're going to go down the hill at Santa Anita. It's a first level allowance, 6.5 furlongs on the turf course. I thought the 2 Lay as Candy was probably the horse to beat. There's a scratch of the 5 Thornhouse. That's a huge scratch now, and that's going to make, I think, like a little bit easier for the 8 Gypsy Tears, who should be able to get aggressive from the outside, show a little bit of speed. So we'll end up using the 2 and the 8 in there now with an upgrade of Gypsy Tears after that scratch of the 5 Thornhouse. Moving to Gulfstream Park, race number 11. This one is a mile on the turf course. It's an optional 62, non-winners of 2. We'll end up going 3 deep in this one with the 2 Swoop to Finish, who comes off of a nice win last time out and will step up coming off of that. We'll end up using the 6, who I think is a wild card, but looks to have a lot of ability. First time in North America for Chad Brown. And then the 9 Ocean Club is actually the horse who we have a replay of that we can show you. This is a filly who's going to go second start off the 5-month break. And in her last start, she was inside. She was tracking. She was sitting 3rd just behind the leaders, and she just had nowhere to go at all. She was traveling really well, but she was completely buried behind horses, and she just never got a chance to run in there. That's Ocean Club, who's now going to go second start off a 5-month break. I think she's a major player in here. So 3 deep in this one with the 2, 6, and 9. We move to the final race at Santa Anita. This one is the 8th race, and we'll close things out here with the 2 Clouseau, who is going to get Edwin Maldonado to jump back aboard. And I think that's really interesting because the blinkers come on, and Maldonado has done a really good job of getting Clouseau in the race early and being aggressive on him. So I'm expecting Clouseau to be forwardly placed in here. And then the very impressive Yellow Brick, who was a good winner last time out. That was his first start as a 4-year-old. He had been knocking on the door quite a bit in his 3-year-old season, and he finally was able to put it all together. The 5 Yellow Brick will be very tough in there. So altogether, it was a $96 ticket. If you want to take a look at the ticket, we put forth no singles on this one for the 23rd, but we will start things out with the 5 and the 6 2 deep, with the 1, 4, 5, and 6 at Gulfstream in the 9th. Then we go over to Santa Anita with the 2 and the 8. Gypsy Tears from the outside was included after the scratch. 2, 6, and 9 at Gulfstream Park in race 11. And then we close it out with the 2 and the 5 at Santa Anita in race number 8. There's a look at that $96 play. Remember, every Saturday, every Sunday, we'll be here with you for videos preparing you for this Pick 5 sequence. And we also have write-ups from part of the DRF staff every week at drf.com.